Good afternoon, welcome to the Midday Mull for Monday the 5th of October. We're still in the prophecy of Ezekiel, and we've seen how he has condemned Israel and the leadership of Israel. But the attention now turns to the surrounding nations, and in chapter 25 we're told, "The word of the Lord came to me, Son of man, set your face against the Ammonites and prophesy against them. Say to them, hear the word of the sovereign Lord. This is what the sovereign Lord says. Because you said, aha, over my sanctuary when it was desecrated, and over the land of Israel when it was laid waste, and over the people of Judah when they went into exile. Therefore I'm going to give you to the people of the east as a possession." And a little later he speaks against Moab, because Moab and Seir said, look, Judah has become like one of the other nations. And against Edom, because Edom took revenge on Judah and became very guilty by doing this. Therefore, this is what I will do. I will stretch out my hand against Edom. Likewise with Philistia. And it struck me, here you've got the God of Israel speaking against the surrounding nations. And in the mind of Ezekiel, this wasn't just the local God, this was the God of the whole universe, holding not just the people of Israel, his chosen position, but holding all people accountable. And we need to remember that everyone will be held accountable. Maybe not immediately, but history's not finished. The surrounding nations thought, oh, Israel's done, we've come out on top. But the story hadn't finished. The story continued, and Israel came back, and they've all disappeared. And today we see the West thinking, oh, we're on top of things, and there's a huge amount of arrogance in much of the culture that is part of the Western way of thinking and doing things. But the story's not over yet. And in the same way that the surrounding nations were judged by God and held accountable for all they'd done, God will still judge and hold the West accountable as well. It's only all finished when it's finished. And when we stand before the throne in glory, when everything is held accountable. So in a world where things sometimes might seem to be going awry, and we might look at society and think, oh, it's unraveling, or we might look at the world and think, this is going completely wrong. It's happened before, and God has held people, called people to account. God has held them responsible for what they've done, and he will continue to do that. And so we need to make sure that in our daily lives that we are walking well, that we are exemplary, that the lives we live and our attitudes and what we do shows forth the love and the righteousness and the standards that God has. Even if the world around us is being completely contrary, we keep our faith, we keep our standards, knowing that one day everyone will be held to account. So be encouraged, be strengthened, and be blessed.